everybody, it's Shanda coming to you from Grounded Cafe, located in the ADRC in Green Bay. Today I'm coming to you to do a little, we'll call it a cooking demo, though we're not doing any cooking this time, but cooking will come. But I'm going to be demoing a recipe for you that we actually serve here in the cafe. It's a nice, easy recipe. It's a no-bake, no-cook recipe that will be very easy for you to do at home, and it's going to provide you with a delicious treat at the end. So our recipe today, if everybody could take out the recipe that's been provided, is for our energy bites. So if you want to take a look at that, I'll start with telling you about the ingredients. So we have our Quaker rolled oats. Any rolled oats are fine, generic are fine, as long as they're the rolled oats, not anything that already has sugar or anything in it. The very next thing we have is peanut butter. Our peanut butter is huge because we're a restaurant, but I'm sure your peanut butter is small. And for those who may have nut allergies, I'm recommending using this sun butter, and you can find this pretty much at any major grocery store. It's very affordable, and it's a good replacement for peanut butter if you have an allergy to peanuts. And then the other ingredient is craisins. So these are sweetened dried cranberries. Ocean Spray makes them, but there's a lot of other brands that do too. These are amazing. You could also substitute raisins if these are too tart for you. And then last but not least, we have maple syrup. Now this is a lot of maple syrup. You just need a little maple syrup. But this is what I'm going to use today because this is what we use in the cafe. The next thing I'll go over with you are what you need for measuring today. You need a 1 cup measure, you need a 1/2 cup measure, and you need a 1/3 cup measure for your ingredients. And you also will need a tablespoon. So when we scoop these and roll them, you'll be using a tablespoon. So I have this over here to use for that. Now, this is a very basic, simple recipe. You're going to take all of the ingredients that you see on your recipe card, and you're going to put them in a bowl, and we're going to mix them. So that's what I'm going to do next. All right, so I'm going to start with the first thing on the list, which is our oats. Now, when you're measuring them, you want to have a nice level cup. There's 1 cup, and then we'll need to measure another 1/2 cup. So the oats are all set to go here. The next thing we're going to do is actually our craisins, because we want to do our dry ingredients first before we put our peanut butter. It's going to make our measuring cup all sticky. So the next one we're going to put in is our craisins, and that's a 1/2 cup. So we're all set with those. Set those aside. The next thing we're going to do is our peanut butter or our sun butter. So right now I'm going to do our peanut butter for you. And this could get a little messy, so keep a little rag around just in case you have to wipe anything or clean anything. So we want a nice level 1/2 cup, and we're going to work real hard to get all of that out of there. If you have a little too much or a little too little, it's not going to make a big difference. Just do your best. And I know you are. So the peanut butter is all set. And then last but not least, the thing that binds it all together is our maple syrup. That is 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup, which is very heavy. Now, if you can get real maple syrup, I recommend that you get real maple syrup because it's just better for you than the Aunt Jemima or, you know, the pancake topping. The real maple syrup is it's a whole lot better for you. It's a natural sugar, so it's going to digest better, and it's going to be better just for your blood sugar in general. All right, so as you can see, we have all of our ingredients in the bowl. The next thing I'm going to do is get some big mussels mixing it. All right, so look at it, it's all coming together. It's looking very lovely. You want to get it good and stirred. You want to work those oats and get everything coated nicely so that when you go to roll them, they'll roll very nice for you. And you're going to stir it probably a little longer than you think you need to. I'm just going to scrape off my spatula. Now, if you have a hand mixer, the one with the 2 beaters, you can definitely use that for this too. It actually will come together a lot quicker, and it'll save your arm a little bit. But if you don't, just like I'm doing it, is perfectly fine. And you can tell it's coming together as just a nice ball of deliciousness here. So I think we're ready to start scooping and rolling. All right, so now that it's all together, we're gonna get our sheet. You would want to use maybe a sheet pan that you have at home. Just anything flat and long like this is what you're gonna want to do. I lined it with parchment paper if you have parchment paper, or you can always spray some cooking spray on here, and that way when we put these in the refrigerator, they can set up and they won't stick. So we have our 1 tablespoon. You're gonna wanna do it so it's kind of rounded because we are making energy balls, energy bites. So I put it in my hand and I made a nice little round, perfectly bite-sized little ball. So I'm gonna actually continue with the rest of my batter here, and I'm gonna keep making them until they're all set to go. And why don't you do it along with me? So the yield on this recipe, which is the number of portions it makes, is approximately 20 of these little guys. Now, if you're making them a little bigger, it's obviously gonna be less, or smaller, it's gonna be more, and maybe you want them smaller or bigger. So you go ahead and make them the size that you think you're gonna wanna have as a snack later. And just so you know, these do make fantastic little breakfast bites. Especially if you're on the go, you can grab a couple and pop them in your mouth on your way to work or your way to the store or anywhere. It also is a great snack to have for an after dinner snack. Maybe instead of your nightly bowl of ice cream, you grab a couple of your energy bites, and it's gonna just be much better for you. Mine are turning out a little on the larger side, which means I'll have probably a few less than 20, and that's okay. I like mine to be 2 bites. That way I only have to grab one and take 2 bites. But they're coming together nicely, as you can see. We have the right amount to get some nice balls rolled here. And we're just about finished. Get every little last bit here of deliciousness. All right. So we ended up with 14, which is fine. So now the next step, which is something that's a very important step, because these need to sit for a little bit so that they can stabilize and not fall apart when you go to eat them. So the next thing you're gonna wanna do is put them in the freezer at your house for about 15 minutes or even longer. If you want to leave them in the freezer overnight, take them out tomorrow, that's fine too, but a minimum of 15 minutes because they are gonna need to set up and get a little more solid so that they're easier to eat when the time comes. All right, you guys, I just pulled these out of the freezer. I left mine in for about 25 minutes, but like I said, as long as you need to. Mine are a little on the bigger side, so I just wanted to keep them in a bit longer. They're nice and firm now and very easy to pack. So what you're gonna wanna do is find your favorite Tupperware container or sealing container that you would keep in your refrigerator with a lid, preferably. What you're gonna wanna do then is just place them all inside, just like I'm doing here. Wow, this works out perfectly. You're gonna put a lid on it and you're gonna put them in your refrigerator. And like I said, anytime you just wanna grab a little snack, pull one out and eat it, these will be good in your refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. Or if you don't think you're gonna eat them that fast, just throw them back in the freezer. In the freezer, they'll stay good for months. And they actually are kind of tasty frozen too, especially when the summer weather gets hotter. So yeah, that's about it. That's as easy as it gets when it comes to making your energy bites. So if you have any questions, think about them, put your thoughts together, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you very much. Bye.